How much money do you need to live the life of your dreams? Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Williams here, your law firm mentor. Law Firm Mentor is a business coaching service for solo and small law firm attorneys. We help you to grow your revenues, crush chaos in business, and make more money. And speaking of money, money is a touchy subject for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like to think about money, so they do something that I used to do a long time ago, which is they live in the ish. So what I mean by ish is if I were to ask you today, how much money does your car cost you every month? You would say it's 500-ish. Or how much is your mortgage? You would say it's 3,000-ish. Or what do you spend every month on your clothing? You might say it's 100-ish or 1,000-ish, depends on what kind of mood I'm in. And that's perfectly fine if the amount of money you have greatly exceeds the amount of money that you need. But even when you have more than enough, there is something inherently not successful and very problematic about living in the ish and not actually knowing exactly what it costs for you to live your life. So I'm going to give you 3 very concrete reasons why that is, in hopes that you can take some of that home with you and use it to make yourself more financially successful in your law business and in your life. So, reason number 1, enough is a negative emotion. Now, what I mean by that is when we have just enough, we get into the habit of creating just enough. So we make just enough money to meet our bills every month. We have just enough money to do everything that we're required to do. So that when something comes up that we want to do that isn't in the enough category, we either have to rob Peter to pay Paul, or we have to immediately go into some form of retraction in other areas of our life in order to afford that extra thing. Versus if you always get into the habit of having more than enough, there would be enough for that extra thing to come in addition to what you already have. The second thing that you want to think about is that it is very hard, as a general rule, for you to get someplace unless you define where that is. So I want you to think about this. If you're in New York and we're traveling to California, you know a lot of information. You know the distance between those 2 locations. You know, by and large, what methods there are for you to get from place A to place B. But if I told you I'm not going to tell you where you are and I want you to go to California, you don't know if you're flying east or west. You don't know how many days or weeks or years it could take you to get there, depending on the mode of transportation. There's a lot of things that are up in the air. So if you define where you're going, it's a lot easier for you to get there because you can make a plan. The last thing that you have to think about with living in the ish is that the ish tends to get a little iffy. And what I mean by that is when you start giving yourself rough approximations for everything in your life, those boundaries tend to expand and contract based on how you feel. So today, 500-ish might mean $525. Tomorrow, 500-ish might mean $499. And there's always going to be wiggle room. But the problem is, if your emotions are dictating what that wiggle room is going to be, you never know how much is left over in your budget for you to be able to plan to make provisions for the future. So it really becomes very important that you know exactly what you need and that you make a plan around that so that you can always create more. Now, if you struggle in your law firm to create as much as you desire, let alone always having more than enough, that's something that we can help you with here at Law Firm Mentor. I'm going to drop our scheduler in the link to the comments of this video. If you want to have a conversation, reach out. I'm Allison Williams, your Law Firm Mentor. Have a great day.